Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Wherever in the world you are, welcome to South Coast Chef, welcome to 25 Days of Christmas. This is day 3. Today we've been at the local growers market in Moruya, which happens every Tuesday at 3 o'clock. We've grabbed all their local, some of their local produce. Now I know you guys in the Northern Hemisphere, you like to have your big birds and all the trimmings for Christmas. And us in the Southern Hemisphere prefer our seafood and our salad. So we're going to try and incorporate both of them and get a bird and a salad together. So today we've got some quail, and we're going to stuff this with some tabbouleh, some tomatoes, some coriander, onion and peach. And we're going to serve that on a bed of beetroot, pak choi and rocket. Okay, first we need to concentrate on stuffing the quail and getting that into the oven alongside the beetroot. So we're going to just dice the onion, nice and fine. Just top and tail it. Slice it in half. Just like so. And then horizontally, like so, and then just slice down so you can just create a nice little dices or brunoise of onion. And then along I'm just going to pour this into a separate bowl and then move on to our tomatoes. I'm going to use a bit of a smaller knife for this. You just want to get rid of the core, the bit where the tomato holds onto the plant. It doesn't, well, doesn't taste very nice, to be honest. Just get rid of that. And then using the knife, just slice that into sections like so. And then once it gets a bit too thin, just slice across. Like that. And then we're just going to dice these as well, so we just want to slice them into sections. Turn it around. And then stick that in there as well. And the same with these. Move on to the coriander. It smells absolutely fantastic, this stuff. Just pick it all down, pick all the leaves off. Once all the leaves have been broken down, just roughly chop the coriander, and you should be able to smell the essence that it gives off. It's absolutely fantastic. Just keep bunching it together, and there's not really a right or wrong way to do this. As long as the leaves are a lot smaller than they were when you first started, that's all we're looking for. Sweet. Stick them in there. That's going to be our stuffing mix. once we add our tabbouleh. Now we've got about 100 grams of tabbouleh here. We're not going to need this much. We're going to need about 50 to 75 grams. And this is just basically going to bind the stuffing mix together. Now this is used in the Middle East as a supplement to rice or couscous, and they put a bit of chili and capsicum or red pepper and lemon juice and wine, and it's really tasty. Now before we stuff the quail, we obviously had to have our main ingredient, which is the peach. Now because the quail is so small, all of our ingredients, including the peach, the tomato, everything has to be diced really tiny so it can fit inside. So we're just going to cut a few segments off of this peach. Oh, I'll try that one. I just can't resist. So juicy. Nothing beats locally grown peaches. Just cut these into segments around the stone. Medium rough as you like. They're going to go inside a quail at the end of the day. It's not going to be seen on the plate. Cut them into lines, how we did with the tomato. And then just dice them as small as you can. Do the same with these. It can be rough, we're not trying to break any records, we're just trying to make a tasty meal. Let's do this last piece. Stick them in the bowl. Oh, I have to finish this off. Lovely. Get that good mix in with a good bit of seasoning. I've got some sea salt here, which is infused with seaweed. Just going to add some great bit of seasoning. And that's our stuffing mix. Now this is going to be perfect for the quail. The peaches are going to bring out so many juices inside that bird. The coriander, the tabbouleh is going to give it a solid texture. It's going to be fantastic. We're very lucky. We've got some local honey from Mossy Point, which is about 20 minutes away from where we are at the moment. This is the grey ironbark. They do so many different varieties there, it's unbelievable, and it all tastes fantastic. We're going to glaze the quail in this today. So just cover the skin. This is going to give it, not only is it going to give it a nice shine, but it's going to help caramelise the quail. Give it a nice finish after it's been in the oven. We'll give it a little bit of seasoning as well with a seaweed infused salt. Do both sides, and we also want to season the inside. Like that. And then we'll just get our stuff. Okay, so we're going to stuff the bird with this. Now this, we're not going to need all of this to stuff the quail with, but the rest of it you can just take to work on a rocket salad tomorrow for lunch, for instance. Now, and then use your fingers, as long as you've got clean hands. Perfect. We've got the honey glaze, we've got the seasoning, we've got the stuffing. These are ready to go in the oven. Once the quail's sorted, we can move on to our beetroot, our washed beetroot. I'm just going to top and tail it. You don't need to peel it because it's obviously being washed, and you're just going to cut it into, depending on the size of the beetroot, I'll cut this into 8. Our beetroot is fantastic raw, pickled, roasted, poached. It's such a versatile vegetable. It's completely up to you how you want to cook it, but because we're going to roast our quail, I may as well roast the beetroot as well. I'm going to cut this one into quarters because it's a little bit thinner than that one was, which leaves us with 12 pieces. We've had our tray in the oven for the past 20 minutes while we've been prepping, so it's nice and warm and ready for our quail and our beetroot. I'm just going to put our quail on there and try and tuck his legs up. Just like so. And again, just like so. The beetroot can go, obviously can go wherever you want it to go, doesn't matter. Drizzle it with a little bit of Christmassy olive oil. Season the beetroot with some of the seaweed salt. And this is ready to go in the oven and roasted, and we're going to put this in for 35 minutes and it should be perfect after 35 minutes on 200 degrees. The beetroot salad, the base for the quail. We do have our rocket and our pak choi, which was grown in Mauritius and picked today, bought today, and well, eaten today. For the rocket, it's been washed, so you just basically want to just pick off as much as you need. We're not going to need all this, it's quite peppery, it's really intense, the flavour. Probably want about a quarter of the rocket. Put that into a mixing bowl. The pak choi, now all of the pak choi is edible, but the leaves, especially the tip of the leaf, is quite bitter, so you want to discard that unless that's what you're looking for. The best way to prepare the pak choi is just to break off the individual stems. That's more than enough. And you'll see where it's got the big floppy bits at the end. It's been overgrown, it's been open to the elements, and it just tastes very, very bitter. So we're just going to chop off the third of all of them stems. So we're just left with this. And then just fold it over. Now in cooking terms, this is called chiffonade. It's basically just rolling whatever it is and slicing thinly. Stick that in the bowl, and although this is edible, it can be quite tough to eat. It's very nice if it's sauteed or pan fried in a stir fry, but in a salad you can find it quite tough. So we'll have the tabbouleh for lunch and we'll have the stir fry for dinner for tomorrow. Now we've got a very special treat. Straight from the Mauritius markets, we've got this fantastic salad dressing which comes specially prepared in a box, all the way from Milton, which is about 40 minutes north of us. Absolutely beautiful mustard and grape seal dressing. I'm just going to use this just to dress the bok choy and the rocket before we add the beetroot. You don't need a lot, you need about 2 teaspoons, that's it, that's all you need, 2 teaspoons, just to give it a little bit of moisture and give it that flavour. Now it's time to take the quail and the beetroot out of the oven. roasted quail. Now obviously we're going to add the beetroot to the salad. These in. Oh, I love having big pieces of beetroot. You can grate the beetroot, you can cut them smaller, you can do whatever you feel necessary. Just mix this around. And now it's time to plate up. Nice warm, locally grown beetroot salad, and to top it off, a tapioca and peach salsa stuffed quail with a honey glaze.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Take a look at the 5 and 10, it's glistening once again with candy canes and silver lanes that glow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.